I'm Sandeep Patel, founder and CEO of Nipra, a leading waste management company in India. I am also part of DLC's Global Committee for ESG, Ahmedabad chapter. I'll be talking about addressing the extent of corporate responsibility and comprehensive waste management, which has a significant impact on ESG. While we started this business focusing on various environmental concerns which we always face on everyday basis, so it's also important to understand how waste management has a very positive impact on various ESG factors. So our business is all about turning waste into resource and also generating employment opportunities, entrepreneurship opportunities, and at the same time ensuring that all the ESG alignment towards environmental compliance, social compliance, and governance are achieved. We started the journey in 2006. 2011, we started scaling it up. And since 2011 to 2021, we have been constantly going through various challenges in ESG factors alone. Because waste directly impacts and is the only business which has direct impact on ESGs. So today we do almost 600 tons of waste per day, ensuring it's a zero waste to landfill organization and impacting the environment positively, taking care of circular economy at the same time ensuring that we are able to achieve zero waste to landfill. As an organization, we are almost 1,000 people plus company operating across the country. So waste management has a direct impact on everybody. And when we started the journey, we were more concerned about people, the impact which it has on environment, at the same time, how we are going to really solve for this. So when I started the journey, even my own family was confused about what this guy is trying to do. And in 2014, when our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, talked about from the Red Fort about Swachh Bharat, they could really understand that since 2006, this crazy guy is trying to build some solution around waste management. And more importantly, our journey has been focused on doing it the right way. And whenever you try to do it the right way, it is more challenging. So between 2008 to 2013, we are building the value chain around waste, trying to understand why would people recycle more, why would people segregate more, why would people really want to work with you. So while doing that, we kept on solving the problems and the issues we came across the value chain. We built relationships, we built technology around it. We understood each stakeholder's problem, that why would they have to work with us or what problem they would want to resolve working with us. So while we kept on doing the journey, in 2013, we started growing the business. And in 2017, we built up our first largest plant in the country in Indore, which is the cleanest city in the country. And we managed the whole Indore city's waste, making it zero waste to landfill, a true commitment to a city which ensures that the waste segregation happens at the best possible level. So, what happens when you start segregating the waste is the most important part, because if you are not able to achieve the next step, you always falter in the first. So, during our journey, while we created partnerships and value chain, we built technology. And while we are building technology, so we have built a technology for waste collection, segregation, and sending to various recyclers, because waste is a multi commodity business. While it might look very simple, but at the same time, managing multiple commodities, the pricing variations, the stakeholder quality expectations, etc., causes a lot of problems. And technology is one enabler which we are using very much significantly to ensure that each stakeholder is informed and is aware of every single expectation of what is to be delivered or what is expected out of them. And while we did all this, we started scaling up our business from few hundred kgs per day to almost 600 plus tons per day today in our facilities, where we segregate the waste and send to various recyclers. So while in 2014 Mr. Modi talked about segregation and Swachh Bharat, 2016 is when the real rules came into play to really impact the sector. It took almost 2 years to really help people understand that waste management, solid waste management, plastic waste management rules are to be really implemented and ensured that we are able to segregate and or maybe achieve our objectives of compliance. So as companies start looking at their ESG alignment to various ESG goals, they also have to now start looking at how they manage their waste, not only within their premises, but also when they sell their products out in the market. And it is important to execute the plastic waste management rule compliance under extended producer responsibility, where your packaging waste would need to be collected by the same company which is actually putting it into the market. And our job as a company is to support these companies to achieve their extended producer responsibility and achieve and help them do compliance for it. So when we are building this waste technology platform, we realize that people also need to align to extended producer responsibility, their ESG compliance responsibility. So we have built a lot of platforms around waste management where companies can work with us for reporting and environmental compliance on that. But along with that, we also have built platforms which takes care of all stakeholders in the value chain of taking back the waste, plastic waste from the environment. We work in the mountains, we work near the ocean bodies, we work near rivers to collect plastic waste and with various stakeholders to ensure that their objective of cleaner environment and better environment is achieved. We work with more than 350 plus brands across the country to help them divert more than 1 lakh metric tons of plastic waste, which is actually ending up in landfill or into water bodies. And we have diverted the same towards cement plants to be used as a fuel in co-processing within the cement plants. What it helps is also to achieve the goal of cleaner India and greener India, but it also allows companies to be more aligned to their ESG goals. While companies focus on internal alignment, it is also important to look at the larger objective of companies to help initiatives. And I think ESG Connect platform would be able to support from our side all our partners who are looking at ESG alignment and technologies around compliance on social side of it. It is also important to look at the waste pickers' role in waste management because while we work in this sector, the waste pickers are the one which are essentially collecting the litter which people are actually throwing on the ground. And technology to support waste pickers, mapping their need, working as a company to support their expectation on social inclusion, ensuring their payments are more on minimum wages and above, ensuring their children are taken care of, is something which we strongly work on. And technology to map the waste pickers, connect them with various organizations is something which we have built. So as NEPRA, we have built various technological platforms which not only focuses on waste, but also helps you report your environmental compliance, your legal compliance towards environmental as a business to operate, your social commitment towards waste pickers or people in the value chain of waste, and at the same time help you have better governance in reporting and managing your compliances in the whole life cycle of waste. And at the same time, as an organization, we are also helping companies achieve their plastic credit goals and carbon credit goals as well. So in COP26, our PM has committed to reduce our carbon emissions by 2070 in a significant way. And as all the companies under their ESG commitments, under their net zero commitments, are focusing on achieving better practices, reducing their carbon emissions, and waste management is one of the most critical factors and areas which most of the companies would have to look into to achieve their commitment towards net zero. While they focus on shifting from thermal power to renewable power, but waste is something which has significant impact from your products from scope 1, scope 2 and scope 3, where you have to focus on ensuring that any kind of raw material or packaging which you would be using is aligned to net zero goals which a company would be setting up. And what is most important is to also focus on how we can reduce the landfills which are across our country and remove those landfills to achieve cleaner and greener environment. So it is also role of each corporate to focus on social impact. The activity which you do has an impact which basically supports the society where you operate in. The people at the weaker section of the society needs to be uplifted, especially the ones working in the waste sector. If we expect better service in waste management, we need to create better infrastructure, build better processes, and support the people in the value chain and expect more with respect to service quality. In my journey, we have also looked at various challenges where people have struggled to build quality product, and it is important to create partnerships to build a better quality product. And again, in supply chain, the ESG becomes a game changer when you start focusing on better compliance standards. So as an entrepreneur, I have spent almost more than a decade in waste management. For me, it is important to understand that every single part of ESG, either it is environment, social, all governance, they go hand in hand. And without that compliance, none of the corporates or industry or individuals would be able to achieve the objective of better compliances, feeling good, or alignment to net zero or ESG standards. So it's a journey which we all have to carry on towards better practices towards waste management, creating better infrastructure, creating better standards for people who are operating in this sector, which will allow better outcomes going forward and a better environment for our kids. So, every entrepreneur would be thinking how to get into waste management, how to align to ESG. Companies would always be focusing on alignment of ESG for themselves. So, now my advice, do it the right way. It is important for an entrepreneur who is wanting to get into waste management to focus on people, process, and creating the infrastructure to align and ensure that you are compliant to the ESG. You might not be able to do it on the first day, but the intention to ensure that 100% alignment to ESG is something which will make you successful, because you cannot do waste management without focusing on ESG alignment. As an entrepreneur, if you start the journey managing the waste in the wrong way, would have a very negative impact, not socially, but also on the environment. And definitely you will struggle with the governance part as well. So, from my experience, we have struggled a lot during the whole journey in last one decade, where people who know us, they know it, that the amount of struggle for not only doing it the right way is losing a lot of opportunity on profitability, and for compliances which you could have done it later date but you do it today, the cost increases. But the cost which increases today brings you a lot of mental peace, because you are doing it the right way, ensuring that environment is not harmed from your actions. Social good, people vouch for you, people working with you, the waste pickers, the value chain partners, they very feel proud working with you. And most importantly, any government agency body would be happy to align their objective, any corporate would be aligned to your objective of doing it the right way. And of course, ESG has now become a keyword, but it is core to having a successful business. Back of the mind, an entrepreneur always and always has to focus on doing it the right way for the environment, for the people, and ensuring that the governance or the practices are of the best standard, so you can scale up and become more aligned to all the stakeholders. And wherever possible, use technology to ensure that you are able to access the information, monitor it, and scale it up in the faster way which you would want to. Waste management is a very simple, at the same time very complex. ESG as a subject has direct relation with all the aspects of waste management and recycling. World is talking about plastic waste found in the ocean, which is as big as Texas. We are talking about Warsaw Beach, we are talking about Mahim Beach, we are talking about all the beaches across the world in India as well as Southeast Asia, where plastic is floating and reaching to the shores. There are initiatives which are really now getting activated by individuals, where social activism is already starting. People are getting into this business to focus on recycling, creating opportunities, and most aligned businesses are scaling up very fast. So, ESG alignment is not an option. Most of the corporates now have to start looking at alignment to it, because your marks would align to the society. Society will have to look at how each brand is looked at into. If they are aligned to ESG, people will want to buy more of your products. They would be confident of working with you. So, as we scale, it is important to focus on doing it the right way. And I think ESG frameworks would allow you to focus on all the parameters which are focused on the environmental side of your business, your social side of the people side of the business, and creating the infrastructure which needs to be also aligned. So I think with this, I will tell all the entrepreneurs that while you do the business in the right way, please see if you can align on the ESG from day one. And at the same time, for larger corporates, as the businesses are growing, your responsibility towards ESG alignment and focusing on how you can support initiatives which support local and regional ESG alignment, your responsibility as a corporate is going to increase. Your creditors, your shareholders, and everybody are now going to be talking about how your business is ESG aligned. And as an organization, when you talk about anything except renewable energy, reducing your fossil fuels, or with respect to creating circular economy. NIPRA has been supporting a lot of brand partners across the country to create circular economy, at the same time focus on replacing their fossil fuels with alternative fuels, which helps reduce greenhouse emissions. Thank you.